What is up, everybody? Welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Steph, also known as the freckled one. I kind of wanted to do something a little bit different for this video. It's much more relaxed. I'm in my pajamas. It is a really lazy Friday, and it was just yesterday that I was thinking that I really wanted to do this video. It's been in my little notebook of video ideas for a very long time, and yesterday just so happened to be National Dog Day. And so today I wanted to talk about all of the many reasons why you should adopt a senior pet. All of the pets in our house are seniors. We have two 13-year-old cats, and then Nell's just turned 13 this month. And honestly, while there are a couple of cons to having a senior pet, it was one of the best decisions that Noah and I have ever made to adopt this little old man. Reason number one, which is probably the most obvious, but you have the potential to save a senior pet's life through adoption. According to the ASPCA, 6.3 million pets enter shelters every year, and 920,000 of those do get euthanized. So we got Nels in 2018 when I had just started nursing school. It is so weird to think that I thought it was a good idea to tack on yet another animal to care for during that time. But here in LA, in West LA specifically, there are tons of shelters and organizations that have a ton of animals that need to be adopted. So we went there, and I had picked out 3 or 4 dogs that I wanted to meet. They were all very beautiful. They were all very beautiful. And Noah, my fiance, saw his headshot, which I will put right here, and said, I want to meet that dog. And so he was actually the only dog that we ended up meeting because Noah immediately fell in love with him. I also really liked how mellow he was when we first met him. And you know, with having 2 senior cats that are indoor, have never even had interaction with other animals before, I knew that it was actually gonna be the best move to get a much more mellow pet. And I think in the end, the decision to take him home ended up being pretty easy. I think Noah and I were on the same page of just giving him the best last years of his life. And that to me is kind of the heart of senior pet adoption, like really giving a pet the best last years of their life. Reason number 2 is older pets are often less demanding. This guy, look at his little tongue hanging out. He is just so mellow. All he wants to do is eat, sleep, walk, repeat. And the rest of the time, he's just like this mellow little arthritic animal that just kind of wants to bop around and lay on the floor and lay in his little cozy bed. And I'm not saying that he's perfect, because trust me, he isn't. But when it really boils down to younger dogs versus senior dogs, like, he, in comparison, really doesn't need very much. Reason number 3, senior pets can potentially, I mean dogs specifically, but they can already come trained. A lot of senior dogs have been taught to understand no, leave it, stay, sit. That's really cool. Unfortunately, Nels isn't trained at all. We actually wouldn't have probably met him if we had known that he wasn't house trained, but we ended up meeting him. That was my first question to the person that worked there, and while he was trying to look up the information to see if he was house trained, Nels peed in the room that we were in. And so, no, he is not house trained, and he's incontinent, and I will show you his little diaper. All right, reason number 4 is older pets often come with fewer surprises. They've kind of already established their personalities. They've seen the world for years and years, and I think are a little bit less unpredictable. They have their fears, they have their quirks. And that's not to say that senior pets don't have behavioral issues. Actually, when we first adopted Nels, he was really aggressive whenever you would get close to his face. There was a time within the first couple of days that we got him that I put my face close to his face, and he snapped and tried to bite me. I immediately asserted my dominance, made sure he understood. Bless you. Made sure he understood that that wasn't okay, and within 2 days he had never done that to me again. And look,
Look how close I am to his face now, and he loves me. He loves me so much.
Now that I've talked about all the reasons why you should adopt senior pets, there are a couple of things that I think are really, really important to note. And the number one thing I think that we have learned from adopting him is that vet bills can get a little bit expensive. Small dogs like this often have teeth issues because their teeth are so small and close together. Plaque builds up really quickly and their gums get infected, and so Nels has had several teeth extracted, which is why his tongue hangs out of his mouth entirely almost now, and he does have heart issues. We didn't know that going into it, but there are a ton of shelters that do a workup and let you know up front what the dog or cat or whatever animal's special needs are before you take them home. Now, something that I mentioned before is that he isn't house trained. However, he does have diapers. These cute little diapers. So these little belly bands, or some people call them whizzers, are reusable. We actually line those reusable diapers with these incontinence pads made for humans, which is actually really funny. To be honest, I don't really walk him very much, but Noah tries to walk him anywhere from 3 to 4 times a day. He is able to sleep when we sleep at night, and so that is a nice period of time where he actually doesn't pee his diaper very often. But there are times where if like Noah's on a work call or if I'm not home, if he does need to use the bathroom, he can go in his diaper. We just try as much as possible not to have him sitting in that diaper for too long because that can give him some UTIs. Nels is really interesting because the way that he receives love and affection from humans isn't reciprocated in a way that I have seen with other dogs. And that leads us to believe that maybe he hadn't received that kind of affection in the previous years of his life. According to the birth date that the shelter gave us for Nels, he was born my junior year of high school, which is like mind-blowing to me because knowing how much I've changed as a person since my junior year of high school, like I wish more than anything we could get a glimpse as to what the last like 10 years of his life looked like before we got him. It's pretty intense because Noah and I live in like an 800 square foot apartment. Luckily we have hardwood floors everywhere, but we have 2 cats and a dog in this tiny 1-bedroom apartment, and sometimes it drives me absolutely bonkers. I got the cats when they were kittens. Although I did go to college, I got them back from my mom after I returned to LA. And I do think that having a pet has really prepared me for, or at least helped me assess my ability to care for other beings. I can keep plants alive and I can keep animals alive, and they all seem fairly happy in our household. They've taught me a lot about responsibility and patience, and it feels really good for us to know that we are trying our very best to give all of our animals the very, very best years of their life. And so if you're considering getting a senior pet, although I did mention how expensive those vet bills can be, and I do think that people need to be prepared to be able to pay for those vet bills because that is your job as a pet owner, but for all the reasons that I mentioned, we love having senior pets, and I don't think that we'll ever adopt an animal that isn't a senior. I hope that you enjoyed this video. Leave a comment down below. Do you have a senior pet? What's your favorite thing about them? Have you adopted a senior pet? What has that experience been like for you? Let us know. Until next time, take care, be safe, and be kind. Bye.